Is that what you're telling shops to do? Hey, we need to teach you how to use this new equipment that I'm going to go buy. That they try something inexpensive like Paul Danner's program, like your $25 a month, which I just signed up, by the way. Right? Like you're saying, They're buying these J boxes and then they're throwing them, in the corner of the shop, and it just collects dust. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is some new great machine comes out, some new scope, some new scan tool, whatever. What does the shop owner say? Well, I never used the last one you sold me.
Right.
Why am I going to bother buying a new one? This doesn't make any sense. We never used the last one. Well, it's like, yeah, but you never tried. So online training, and then in-person training, do you condone having training paths lined up for their techs? Should be individualized? Should you standardize it in your shop? What's your recommendation?
So you should do a mixture. I would say, I hate to talk about the training like that. I would rather you identify an individual in your shop that has a passion for wanting to be better and learn, and that's the individual that will take it. And then find out how that individual learns best. Does that individual learn by going to a class and sitting down and watching a PowerPoint in the evening after he's worked 12 hours? Or does he learn better at his own pace online at something he's interested in, a part of the field that you have identified you would like to get into, and that technician has identified he would like to learn about? And how does he learn? Some people are babies for learners. They got to be spoon-fed it. Some people, they're a horse. You just got to lead them to the water and they're going to go for it. So you've got to decide how that individual learns. That technician he or she may decide that they have to do it. They have to be hands-on to do it. My wife has been in the industry just under a year, right? And she is our only ADAS technician. She is every day. She is in the van 4 to 7 jobs a day, sometimes doing ADAS calibrations. She really likes that. She gets it. She understands how radar works, what kind of outside variables affect that, and how cameras are dealt with. She likes that a lot. So she learned that by going and doing it. I sent her to classes. I taught her everything I could. I gave her my online instruction, taught her in person, literally sat there and did it with her. Made her calibrate a table, set a vehicle up, made her go through it. It wasn't until she started dropping the plumb bobs and putting tape on the floor and pushing the buttons on the scan tool that it clicked, right? And most technicians are like that.
Yeah.
We've bred these individuals. We've attracted the type of individuals that are extremely hands-on into our industry. And that works well for some of them, but some of them, that critical thinking skill isn't there, or they haven't nurtured that to the point where it's there. So you could buy my training and Paul's training and go on and buy the whole library of AVI and sign up for the Napa Autotech program and CTI and WTI and all that, and send all of your technicians and only one will get better.
Yeah.
Because the other guys got forced to go there.
Yeah.
So you've got to make that identification of the technician that is willing to learn, that wants that has the passion or the drive for that, right? I don't know how much you guys talked to Mario about that part of him getting into it. We identified that this dude wants to learn something. So we paid for, by we, I mean Trained by Techs as a group. We decided we wanted to send someone to something. So we picked Mario and brought Mario to a training event. And from that point forward, he says all the time, he's like, once I got a hold of it, once he got the thirst for it, it was just nonstop. And the dude's a beast.
And talking about this, it's something in 2020 I found as a weakness in my shop. You guys know we train like crazy. We've got 100-hour a year minimum requirement for training. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that it's not just as simple as saying, go over here to this training class. It's way more advanced than that, and you really have to put thought into it and plan it, and that's a weakness for me, right? I have a lot of other stuff on my plate as a shop owner. So one of the things that I've struggled with is getting my guys and understanding, what are you interested in, how do you learn best. I've got a 70-hour work week on my own. I go home and work on the shop. Right. So it's really hard to add that extra thing to the shop owner's plate. So it's really an awesome resource to have somebody like you or Paul Danner or whatever it is.
Yeah. And in the past, I've set that up with shops where we do that. And there's other people who do this. There are fantastic like business consultants out there. And you guys, I'm sure, have a great network of individuals do this. Well, we've done it in the past, and a couple of them are multi-shop situations where I can't talk about names, but been called in to come in and assess what technicians can we identify can make it farther. Which ones do we invest money in? So we get called in and we do that. And that's, I usually typically come in and spend a day in the shop at each location and talk to the techs and just work with them on drivability issues and concerns and just see what they use for tooling, what their observation is number one for me. I come in and observe what's going on, who's using what technicians, and I usually can identify that there's a 50% management problem and a 50% technician problem.
Yeah.
And that's totally normal. And I approach it in a way that you gotta be, can't hurt someone's pride when you're trying to help them. But sometimes people need to push into reality also. So, we'll identify that, and some shops that works really well, and some of them don't follow through. So we'll do that, and then for the next couple of days, we'll actually do some hands-on training in the shop on the cars that they're working on. And that's where it gets tricky. We have to pick vehicles that we can have for the day that aren't time constrained and all that. But that works really well for some technicians. Other ones are too motivated by the flat rate that they can't stop and slow down and learn for that day. So again, it all comes down to identifying the tech and making sure that whatever training you're gonna send them through it's gonna be positive experience, and they're actually gonna work for them, because not everybody can look at a PowerPoint screen and learn it. You just can't.
Absolutely, I agree.